All right, we are live. Hi everyone, how's your weekend? How's your Sunday going? Look, well, this is the first time. If this is the first time you're seeing this, it's Jason here again. I've been doing this for 48 weeks now. What we do on every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time is I'll be going live like this on my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook group to actually answer your questions about Facebook advertising and digital marketing related. So feel free to type your questions in the comment, but bear in mind, I will not be answering directly to your comment, just like, jump on the discussion with you, okay? So I will actually bring it up over to the Sunday night actually to discuss I mean, in a live session like this to really help everyone else around that is probably having the same questions as you. So yeah, hi Wing, what's up? So guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop your Facebook ads related questions in the comment section. I'll definitely be going over them. But today we have quite a number of questions, and I have got something very interesting to share with you. Now, especially if you're selling on Shopee or Lazada and you have CPAS access, you want to make sure that you stay until the end. It's not a long session anyway. We're going to have this for about just half an hour. So towards the end of it, I will be actually sharing with you a very important new course that we have just launched. And it's a very powerful one, especially for those who have CPAS. All right, now, yeah, so if this is the first time you meet me, welcome to my YouTube channel or my Facebook group. Now, what I do is I have been helping brands navigating success on Facebook advertising since 2010. So over the years, I have worked with over 5,000 individuals from 27 countries up to now. And, it's really specialized in Facebook advertising. But of course, beyond that, we do a lot of other things. But nonetheless, over here in this session, we're mainly discussing about Facebook advertising. Now, I have quite a number of questions, so I don't want to actually drag our time a little bit. I'm just going to quickly jump into Edmund joined my live last week. And towards the end of the session, he actually posted quite a number of questions. So I'm just going to jump up and we'll go through them today. So Edmund, I hope you're here with us today. If not, never mind. You can just still watch back to this and you can get your answer from me. Okay, so first question coming from Edmund is, instead of traffic campaign, when you're running ads for your Shopee store, is it better to use video objective instead? Now, in my opinion, when we are running ads on Facebook, when we are choosing Facebook advertising objective, it's very important for us to get to the most important action that matters to our business. So let's put it this way. If you compare video view and so-called traffic objective, now, video view mainly, when you go out, it's mainly to target those people who are likely to watch your video up to 15 seconds and above, or to complete watching a video if it's shorter than 15. So the optimization and the audience that Facebook would actually find for you are different. Because simply put it this way, those people who are likely to watch the video may not be the person who actually click and go over. But yet again, right, people who watch the video because they watch the video, they probably will understand your product better. So I would say it's up to you, but in my opinion, if my main objective is to really get people to click and go over to my Shopee store, I wouldn't actually beat around the bush for other things that are not really contributing to the final action that I'm looking for, which is I want traffic. I want people to come over to my Shopee store. But on the other side of it is, if you have CPAS access, then definitely we can go further and go for conversion and even the catalog sales and optimizing for different conversions as well. So in my opinion, I'll go for the deeper action, as deep as I can go. So if I don't have CPAS and I can only go for traffic, I will go for traffic instead of beating around the bush with the objective like video view or engagement, which if you test it, I can almost guarantee you can see good number of views, but then again, the number of clicks that actually go over to your Shopee store or actually happen on the advertisement itself will definitely not be significant and encouraging. So that's what I think, Edmund. Thanks for the question. Now, I have the next one coming in, and this is coming from Deco Tan. Thank you so much for asking me the question. Now, Deco is asking, how's my comment on TikTok ads on Shopee? Now, first thing first, a disclaimer here. Up to the day that we are making this video, I have no idea about TikTok ads. But my good friend, which is my co-host for my Three Marketers show that happens on every Wednesday night. Manfred is kind of like dipping his toe quite deep into the TikTok game, and he actually play a bit with TikTok advertisement. He actually mentioned that the interface, the objective selections are pretty similar to Facebook advertising. So now here's the thing, back to the question, what do I think about TikTok ads for Shopee store? Now, in my opinion, very simple. If you are selling something that is really based on discovery, meaning that people need to see the product or probably listen to it or see how you use it, whether the video or the image, then definitely anywhere that can actually help you capture attention will be useful. Now, we all know that Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising has got a little bit more complicated than it should be, many years ago. And because of competition and all that, basically, the cost structure that we are seeing right now is a lot different compared to what we had many years back. So TikTok ads relatively is still new. Basically, I believe the cost is still relatively cheap. And I would say if your product is something that, it's really for people to discover and see it and like it, then they will click and go over to the next step. I think we should try. I think we should try. Because when it comes to advertising, in my opinion, we just have to try whatever that comes by. But of course, we need to think whether this is suitable for our product. So the best way to find out, to be frank, is to test it. So I would say if you have the budget deco, if we don't need to spend a great fortune on this thing, we can actually start small, like maybe just $5 to $10 a day, and we test it and see how it comes up with. So I think that's a better way to do this, if you ask me. Okay, deco, let's try and dip our toe into this. Definitely, I think if you're consumer facing, it's a lot more beneficial to try that. Definitely, so you should go ahead. Okay, deco, thanks for the question. And come back to Edmund. Edmund asked quite a number of questions last week. So I reckon, we just skip a little bit, then it won't be like all Edmund all the way, right? But yeah, Edmund, don't worry, I will be answering all your questions today. Now, Edmund has a question about his own website conversion is poor comparing to their Shopee store. So where should we direct the Facebook traffic to? Whether it's your own website or Shopee store. Now, this is really a very good question, Edmund. But I would definitely say, on the surface, I would definitely say we should drive traffic to wherever we get better conversion. But then again, I want to share with you another strategy that we tested on my coaches. My coachee has similar situation as you. They have their own e-commerce website, and they have Shopee store, they have Lazada store, and yes, like what you mentioned, they are so-called their traffic and sales on marketplaces are so much greater than their own website. But when we run the campaign, we drive traffic to their e-commerce website instead. Why? Let me share with you why. My hypothesis that I draw out for this campaign was this. When we are actually planning, he's my coachee anyway. So when you work with me as in my when you enroll into my coaching program, basically we get to work one-on-one. So I'll be drawing your strategy, and I'll be actually working with you to optimize it along the way in a few weeks' time. So the hypothesis that I draw was very simple. It is actually betting on the consumer behavior. So the idea here is this. The reason why we want to drive them to the website is because we want to actually make them feel that, hey, this is a real website. They want to build a confidence. Now, website, we have a lot more things that we can do. Like we can do different kind of optimization. We can give voucher. We can collect emails. We can do a lot more things on our website, which is not possible on marketplaces. So when we drive our audience and drive them to our website, okay, so those people who are open, then they will start buying right away. But for those who are, marketplace buyer, you know what actually they would do? They would actually go over at Shopee and find your brand. So if they see you are on Shopee, they will buy on your Shopee store instead. But nonetheless, you get sales either way. You get what I mean? But the idea here is this. We want to drive traffic to our website because we want to corner as many people to our website for a lot of reasons, for optimization, for data collection and all that. Okay, and then the spillover will go over and buy on our Shopee store and our Lazada store. But the overall exercise builds your brand in an entirely different way. So we have proven the hypothesis to be correct, which when we drive our traffic, when we run ads only to drive traffic to our website, we get good sales. It was coming up. We got good ROAS. At the same time, our sales on our Shopee store and Lazada store also went up. So that's the thing. You should try it. Okay, Edmund, I hope I answer your question. Now, next question is coming from, I don't know who is this, but he's actually asking about CPAS. What kind of cost model? Is this cost per action, cost per purchase? If you want to charge your client on behalf of advertising the ad for them. Now, it's actually quite interesting that you ask a question like this because it sounds like you're an agency. But fundamentally, I believe probably you're new to Facebook advertising. So let me help you with this. Fundamentally, when it comes to Facebook advertising, it is CPM that rules the cost structure. So it's not like Google where you only pay for every time you get people to click on your advertisement or any other things that you only pay when somebody purchase. On Facebook, you have to think of it as if you're distributing flyers. The moment you get the flyers printed and hand it over to a person, whether the person read it or not, you pay. As simple as that. So when you set up an advertisement and send it out to people, when a person sees your ad, when your ad appears in their newsfeed, whether they click or whether they view, you pay. It's as simple as that. So that's why cost per 1,000 impression, the CPM, is one of the very important metric that we track when we are monitoring and optimizing our Facebook ads campaign. So that's how we do. All right. So it's not CPA, it's not CPP. That is really not something that we discuss when it comes to Facebook advertising. So Facebook advertising, regardless CPAS or not, it's all about CPM. Okay, I hope I answered your question. Now let's move to the next one. Edmund is asking, that's another question coming from Edmund. Do you provide Facebook digital marketing service? The answer is no. The answer is no because I decided to stop my agency part of business last year and focus solely on coaching and training. So that's what I've been doing for the past 1 year plus, and I'm enjoying it. Not going back to the agency part of it, but nonetheless, if you need help, you can actually work with anyone. But I believe most of my coaches and even my agency partners, they are more specialized in lead gen. You can actually come and join my live, like people like we have Chiwai here. Like Chiwai is here saying that, I'm blessed to exit my agency live now. Chiwai is an agency, but I believe Chiwai is more specialized in lead gen. So anyone who needs lead gen help, right, you can actually look for Chiwai. But e-commerce, I'm not sure, Chiwai. But you can still talk to Chiwai, Edmund, if you're watching this. You guys can try and hook up and see how it goes. All right. So yeah, I don't actually do the agency service anymore, but I do work with you on a coaching model. I do work with brands and companies on a coaching model where, sorry, I'm not supposed to bring it up. Where was that? Oh, I didn't have it over here. Anyway, it is actually a link. Oh, wait. I have coaching program basically. The idea here is, one of my signature coaching program is I call it the Jumpstart program, where we can actually, what we do is as simple as that. Like I come in, I will design the Facebook ad strategy with you, for you, all right? And we will implement this thing together. So it's a 3-week program where we will go through design and implementation, optimization, and monitoring. That's how we do in 3 weeks' time. So in 3 weeks' time, you get to really master Mind Framework. You actually learn everything within Mind Framework. Then it'll definitely set you on a different level when you want to carry this framework and build on your campaign and start getting more familiarized with all these data and everything coming in moving forward. So go to my website, check out my coaching tab, tribeacademy.com/coaching. That's where you can actually go in and work on basically, we can actually apply for my coaching program. I'm actually open for a new application right now because I just completed 2 cases recently, one in the state, the other one in Korea. So yeah, I do have time and I do have slot. I can work with you, especially moving forward. We're talking about 11 is coming up, 12 is coming up and all that, right? So you should come in and take a look at this, okay? So if you want to work with me one-on-one, go to my coaching program, go to my website. Okay, now, Edmund, so that's Edmund, and this is Jonah. Jonah is asking, what about building URL parameters? I'm actually not quite sure your question about this, but if it's about why or how do we build the URL parameters, I think I showed it last week in my AMA. But the idea here is basically it's about allowing you to track. So when you build Facebook ads at the moment at the ad level, I believe you already see there is this URL parameter, URL builder or something like that, right? So it's actually for you to build a URL to reflect in your Google Analytics, like your analytical tools, to let you know, let's say when you set up as a conversion, you want to know which ad or which campaign or which platform contributed the most for your conversion. So that will allow you to really track all these metrics coming in. So parameters is good. And when it comes to the parameter structure, how should we build it? And basically, is there any rule of thumbs and all that? I don't have anything in particular. So I would say definitely you want to look at which ad if you're testing the ad. Now, if you're testing the country, then of course you want to make sure that the country is being attributed. If you're testing different platform, you want to know which one, whether it's email getting more, whether it's Google ads getting more, or Facebook ads getting more, then of course you need to make sure that the source are tagged. But nonetheless, a normal tagging allow you to track everything that you need to. So you just go ahead and try. I don't want to go to do the demo today because I think it's not something very complicated. And I did it last week, if I'm not mistaken. So watch back the last week's video. And yeah, I think we can do that. Anyway, now, yeah, then wait, let me see. TY is talking about anything. So TY said, yeah, you can talk to him. Okay, no commitments or strings attached. Wow, that sounds very interesting. Anyway, yeah, okay, quite true. Join my class first. Thanks for the shout out, TY. Basically, it allows you to have better idea when you're working with agencies. You see, in my opinion, although I actually used to run an agency, but to me it's very simple. You know, even if you have an agency, it's best that you learn and you understand, you know your thing. So it will be a lot easier for you to really monitor. I would say that's the right word, right? And to actually kind of like judge whether your agency is doing a good job or not. Because one thing I don't like is to see clients in the dark, to see clients you know, being kept in the dark where you don't know how much you're spending, you don't know a lot of things about your campaign structure and all that. So that gives you a lot of uncertainties, which I don't think that's the right thing. That's why, like, you know, me and Chiwa are the same. We like to keep everything transparent. So you own your campaign and everything. So I think that's the better way. Okay. Now, right. So come back to Edmund, another question. So Edmund is asking, you guys let Shopee run your ads and the result is terrible. Wow, okay. They use 80% budget on prospecting, all right? And what is my take on this? Using collection ad and retargeting with dynamic carousel. Better we run the Facebook ads yourself instead of leaving it to Shopee team. Now, put it this way, I think Edmund, I want to give you a quick shout out on this thing. Why don't you just schedule a one-on-one Facebook ads audit with me, so that we can go through your campaign and I can make recommendations? Because if you ask me, based on whatever you were saying just now, it looks legit. Of course, 80% go out on the cold traffic, which is our tier one, and 20% on retargeting, depending on how much we are actually looking at in terms of audience size. That sounds legit in terms of the whole structure. But we also want to know, we want to find out, idea here for Facebook ads audit is very simple. Anyone watching this, you actually should sign up for this audit if you don't know what you are doing right or wrong with your Facebook ads campaign. The idea here is very simple. My philosophy is very simple. If you're doing good, you want to know why you're doing good, because you want to make sure you capture all the opportunities to scale. You want to do better. You want to improve on it. But first, you need to find out what did you do right that gives you such good results. So that's the good side of it. Now, on the other side of it is, if you don't have a good campaign, like exactly what Edmund is saying, terrible result, right? So even more, we need to dive in and find out what's wrong. You see, if you don't know what's wrong, how do you fix it? You see, the problem about a lot of Facebook advertisers around when they're running ads is when they have a terrible campaign or unsuccessful campaign, what they do usually, chuck it together and throw it into the rubbish bin and forget about it. Now, if you keep forgetting things about it, how do you improve? How do you fix your mistake? How do you make sure you don't commit the same mistakes again in the future? So that's the very important thing that, you know, in my opinion, the right mindset of a good Facebook advertiser. So let's dive in. So here's the link. You can actually go to tribeupacademy.com/FBAds-audit. Come on in. And it's a very domino fee involved, of course, for a half an hour discussion. We can come in, we can look at your campaign, and we will find out what's wrong, and we build a plan to do something later on. Whether you want to jump on my coaching program or you want to actually learn from my courses and get your team to build it on your own and all that, I'm perfectly fine. So, but first, let's check your campaign. So anyone else that needs help in terms of finding out what you did right or wrong on your Facebook ads campaign, here's the link that you sign up for the Facebook ads audit. Okay. Now, thanks for the question, Edmund. I think, yeah, I would say the next question over here is about whether you want to run ads on your own instead of leaving it to the team. In my opinion, it's best that you build a team within your organization, because especially if you have big plans coming forward, like 2020, 2022, you want to make it like 80% e-commerce, and you want to actually spend more money, especially when you're planning to spend more on ads, you should build a team. Just like many years ago, I think about 6 years ago, I think it's about that, right? Many years ago, when we started working together with a prominent property developer, it was the first time an organization came to me and said that, hey, Jason, I want to build an in-house agency, meaning that they want to get their people to master the ads monitoring and, to do the ads, the execution part, the performance marketing. It was really interesting. But then again, it was proven right, because you just imagine now they're spending millions every year in dollar. Imagine how much commission you can save. I'm not saying that using an agency is not good, but especially if you want to scale, you're planning to go big, it's good to build in-house, because the other side of looking at it is when you build in-house, it's a lot easier for you to do prompt decision. Just like whenever you want to do any tweak, things can get really, really simple and swift when you have internal team. So instead of working with agencies, sometimes the agency can get swarmed, because agencies sometimes may handle quite a number of clients. They may not be able to give you the turnaround time that satisfy you. And that's probably the time you want to look into, building your team. Build your team. The idea here is build your team. And even if you build your team, certain things you can still outsource to certain agencies and all that. But when your team are able to really know the inside out of the whole thing, it changed the game. It definitely changes the game. So Edmund, consider about that. Get in touch with me. We can definitely chat if you have any angle that you want to actually look into. All right. Now, Edmund has another question talking about you do not use Shopee CPAS because you're not familiar, and thought it mean using dynamic carousel. Is there a course on best practices in running Shopee CPAS ad? Now you're in for a trade, because I don't know why. I think it's because of more and more people are actually getting CPAS and they have no clue what to do about it. So yes, Edmund, you asked for it. In fact, I just launched it. Like, I'm supposed to launch it tomorrow, but then again, since you guys are here, right, might as well just share with you. So I just launched this CPAS FB Ads Masterclass. CPAS Facebook Ads Masterclass. So this is a class where I would actually share with you how I built Facebook ads campaign, exact walkthrough, step-by-step, detailed in going inside the ads manager for like, an hour plus, to show how I built a Facebook ad strategy designed for CPAS. So this is not for you if you don't have CPAS. But if you do have CPAS, this is definitely the course that you must attend. Okay, this is the course that you must attend if you have CPAS, because I will walk you through literally everything you need to know about CPAS and exactly how to build a complex Facebook ads framework or funnel, okay, with detailed walkthrough, step by step. Every damn step of it you can actually see, and you wrap your mind around the whole concept, you're able to take this and fly on your own. So we're supposed to launch it tomorrow, but since you're here, might as well you guys come in and take a look at this, right? Now, here's the thing. We are launching tomorrow and we are changing the price a week later. So yeah, this is a crazy price that you have to grab it right now, because seriously, like I said, it's the crazy price that you're seeing right now. Grab it, because this is a very, very powerful strategy. If you know how to use it right, it will make you 1,000 times more compared to what you're actually paying right now. So go over to the link and sign up right away. Okay. Now, but for Chiwa, you don't need, because you have learned and even more compared to this one. But anyway, for those who need CPAS strategy, this is the link. trapupacademy.com/CPAS. Go over and sign up right now. Okay? Now, come back to this. Okay, what was that? Shopee CPAS. Okay, you're asking for the CPAS course. It's there. I've given to you. Okay, now, good question. Edmund is asking, when you're driving, when you're using traffic objective for Shopee ads, should you optimize for landing page view or clicks? Now, in my opinion, I'll go for clicks. Why? Because technically, if you don't have CPAS, I'm just saying, if you don't have CPAS, you will not be able to track whether people landed on your product or your Shopee store or not. But if you do have CPAS, then I think you can go for landing page view and even product view. In my course, in the CPAS Facebook Ads Masterclass, I cover that as well. Basically, there are several objectives that you can use for CPAS. So if you use CPAS and if you have CPAS, you can actually go for a landing page view. But if you don't, if you're a Shopee store that you don't have CPAS, you should go for just clicks. I think just clicks would do. Okay. Now, the last question that I captured from Edmund is, what is the reasonable cost per purchase for Facebook Shopee ads? Now, very good question. What is the reasonable cost per purchase? A reasonable cost per purchase is the cost that you should feel comfortable with and sort of like you're making money. So let's say, for example, if you're selling a product, okay, if the product is $100, for example, and your margin is about 30%. All right. So for your case, right, your benchmark is very simple. You shouldn't spend more than $70. Sorry, you shouldn't spend more than $30 to acquire a purchase. If you agree with me. Bottom line is this: when you run ads, as long as you're making money from the ad, let's say if you spend 100, you get 200 back in revenue, which means, if you have 50% margin, then you're square off, right? But if you spend 100, you get 500 back in revenue, which means it gives you 5 times return on advertising spend, and your margin is 30%, for example, then you're comfortable. I think it's that, basically, I won't be able to give you a benchmark because I don't even know what you do, but judging from the name, it's a vitamin mall, meaning that you probably sell health-related products. I don't know. Because different product, different industry, different category coming into Facebook advertising, you will see different cost per purchase because it's affected by so many other factors. So basically, the easiest way to find out is to go in and run ads and find out something from that. And based on that, here's how you do. So the moment you know that you spend $1, you get 5 in return. The question is, if I spend 100, would I get 5,000 in return? 100 and 500 in return is about 1 to 5, right? So we will keep pushing the barrier in terms of optimization, but that is really the next story after you find out how much you are paying to get a per customer. So that's, in my opinion, yeah. My answer is, I won't be able to give you a reasonable range, but you would definitely know what's your comfortable cost per purchase that you can still make money out of it. So in my opinion, that's the right way of looking at it. Okay? Now, Edmund's question is done. Quite a number of them. I hope you find it useful. Now, basically, let's go in and see what are the questions that we have. So before we chit-chat with Chiwa over here, I think somebody posted this question earlier. So you say, okay, now you have a client who was told that CPAS Shopee will cost a lot of money. Could you shed some truth on this? I assume CPAS is a free service, but of course, one needs to apply and get qualified first. Okay, now I didn't know that somebody is charging to help you get CPAS. It is free. Definitely 100% free. You just need to apply, you're right. Just need to apply. And when you get approved, you get the access of it. And then you can use it to run ads. Basically, yeah, just run ads and spend how much you feel comfortable with and start getting results coming in. Yes, I think that's the right way to see this thing. Yeah, you shouldn't pay money to get CPAS. You shouldn't pay money to get CPAS, in my opinion. You should just apply, right? It's as simple as that. Okay? Now, I hope I answered the question. Thanks for that. Now, let's see. And yeah, Chiwa is saying you follow my style. Okay, that's cool. Thanks for that. And you're suggesting to do one-on-one. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't earn commission. You don't earn commission from me. I don't earn commission from Chiwa as well. So we're just friends referring each other because I think, yeah, these are all reliable people. These are all of my good friends anyway. So despite engaging an agency, end of the day, you still need an internal team as they know the business best. These I definitely agree because I totally we see eye to eye on this thing, because if a team don't know, they won't be able to make sound decision. If you and on the other side, if you actually you depend on an agency too much, you won't be able to actually build the direction for the company. In my opinion, the direction should be coming from the company, and they should be able to make decision based on the right facts and the right data. And the agency's role, on the other hand, should be to advise on the best practices, because they are in the market. That's my opinion. So we should look at the agency-client relationship in a different way, because we used to think, there are different angle, right? Some agency would actually, dictate the client. Some agency would follow the client. But I think the best relationship is we work hand in hand. That's in, like, no longer me, but you can work with CY. But even a coaching manner also, I think we should work hand in hand by understanding your goal, and I'll be able to give you the right practices, as in like the right angle to look at, to optimize the outcome based on the goal that you're setting for your company. I think that's the best way to do this. Okay, all right, guys, I think that's pretty much for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and thanks everyone who are watching the replay. Remember, we go live every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time. Tune in and post your questions anywhere, and tune in on Sunday night to actually hear me answering your questions. All right, guys, thank you so much. Wait. Before that, I think somebody actually was coming in. Is that okay to combo tier 1 video traffic then target CPAS? I would say no. Straight away go for whatever that you want, my friend. I don't know who is this, but anyway, I say straight away go for the objective that makes sense for your business. Video view may not get you the people who are right, who might buy. So if it's e-commerce all the way, might as well we go for that, right? Okay, now, thanks for the question, and thanks, Chiwai. I'll see you tomorrow. And everyone else, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a good night.